soon. For reference, by the time this goes up, that I mean, like, not only will that game already been out, but I'll already have put up the video for it. But for reference, Yakuza 7 has still not come out yet at the time I'm recording this.
運が悪かったんだよ、お前らは。
I already heard this. Alright, so I changed my mind. We're gonna do sub-stories. Actually, well, I'm gonna do sub-stories right now, and then I'm gonna upload this video after the video where Kiryu does the story, so that it's seamless for you, but for me, I'm recording this before Kiryu goes to meet Nishiki at the bar, so keep that in mind. Let that retroactively color your impression of the cutscene you just saw. Before this. So this is a new sub-story. I should stop telling you that before I start these, so that you can guess. Because sometimes it's really easy to tell. Lies. Kiryu is a pure and wholesome cinnamon boy. How dare you. Eh? You don't even know that a badass dad... So, here's the thing. Like, this game came out in 2005. The dadification of video games was not a thing yet. But, at the time Kiwami came out, it totally was. So I guess you gotta steer into that a little bit, right? I mean, Kiryu was being a video game dad way before Kratos jumped in on that scene. So, you gotta give credit to Kiryu for being a video game dad with his surrogate daughter Haruka way before anyone else jumped on the scene to take the throne of video game dads. And especially video games. I mean, you're almost 40, so... The hottest DILFs I can find. I reiterate that this game is set in and takes place during 2005. But, again, this sub-story was written in 2016, 2017, so... whatever. This is a new sub-story, so... Put this up there with that scene of Woody in Kingdom Hearts 3 being like, whatever it is you're talking about, I don't care. Just out of context, exploitable meme image. I don't really get it, but it sounds really stupid. Amazing.
Nani?
No, it's like fat, you know? It's not fat. It's fat with a PH, you know? There's bad, and then there's bad, you know? That's, yeah, so you came to the hobo park. Obviously, we're throwing down. So this being a new age Yakuza sub-story, all it is dialogue. It's just funny meme dialogue and dialogue choices. So that's how you can tell. That's how you can sniff out a new age, a new era of Yakuza sub-stories compared to the old school Yakuza sub-stories, which are go to the place, fight the guy. Okay, that's the sub-story. That's the perfect age to ride your cock. What are your priorities in life as a badass dad? Well, first, I wake up every morning and I catch a fish for breakfast. With my bare hands.
Nani?
Scott Summers, am I right? Dramatic zoom. Majima-san. Majima-san is not the correct answer. If I had anything, if Kiryu prioritizes anything in life, it's his terrible red shirt and gray jacket. Even now. Demonstration. Oh yeah. Even in the rain. Even during a dramatic battle with my best friend on the top of a roof. I must show my chest. When out on the town, you gotta show that man titty. You know what I'm saying? What more? Oh, god damn it. A challenger approaches. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. A new challenger has entered a quarter in the arcade game. Hey, look, man. Look. If I don't have time to do stupid sub-stories in between my quest for the truth, then, you know, it's just not even worth it. What else should I be doing? Besides time-wasting sub-stories, I ask you. Nothing. Totally not creepy at all. I mean, as you can see, I'm showing quite a bit of chest. And far, far more. Yes. You want to ask about my fashion sense? I'm wearing an open robe with Fujin and Raijin on the back. What does that represent thematically for my character? I don't fucking know. But it looks cool. Uh-oh.
Nani?
No. He's come to take my throne. My crown! A competitor for the crown of bad dad. No, call me Kage. Call me Hanaya. Kage Hanaya the florist. Hanaya-san. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying in Japanese. Hanaya-san. Ooh. God damn it. Why does this keep happening to me? Don't know why that keeps happening. Mr. the Florist, San. Kage Hanaya-san. Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know what these dudes wanted. I don't know if they wanted my money, or maybe they wanted something more sexual. So anyway, I started blasting. Uh-oh. You're pretty brutal, old man. Yeah, like, hold on. Can we roll this back here? Are you some kind of fucking creeper? So, I'm not gonna use that in the interview, but, well, let's see. Well, I mean, really, it's a matter of cutting down how many stories I have. I mean, I mean, like, I killed my boss, I beat up a bunch of people at a funeral, I get into random battles every day. Yeah, let's go with the same theme that Hanaya did of getting assaulted in the middle of the street. Young, feisty men. They have to, you know, it's all about climbing that mountain. Kiryu is the mountaintop. That certainly is bad. But is it bad, boy? Just a little bad.
Oi.
Yeah, something about our society inherently glorifies violence. I'm not going to analyze that, I'm just going to accept it and move on. Anyway. A new challenger approaches.
Nani?
This has become a three-way dad fight. Okay, well, Hanaya is already shirtless, so Kiryu and Date gotta take off their shirts and settle this the old-fashioned way, by having a splash fight in the fountain. I want to see some pushing 40-year-old dads getting wet in that fountain. That's the only way to settle this battle of dads. I'm also going to take a lot of pictures for the article.
Huh?
fade out as she does the exposition. Well, let me tell you, there ain't no dads badder than me. I just had a chapter of the story dedicated to what a piece of shit dad I am. In a way that made me very uncomfortable.
Oh.
Dun dun dun. She did try and seduce. She did try and solicit Kiryu for sex while dressed as a high school girl. So you know, there was that. Oh god.
何そうだ
いや
何
Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh man, they must have had so much fun localizing this. Don't look so smug, Kiryu. Dun dun dun. Put that shit in your calendar, old man.
おい
Getting back to the important business at hand. It's kind of important now that it's become a three-way brawl for the top of the seat. The comfy seat on the couch, where you get to hold the remote like all true dads. The seat of power. Oh my god. He who gives the best answer will sit on the couch seat of power and dominate the remote, so controlling what we watch on cable TV for the rest of the night. Become the ultimate dad. The ultimate question. Shoom, 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 shoom. Dun dun dun. Ah, Findom. Yep, I've seen that. It's all about financial domination. That's what all the ladies are into nowadays. They want them a sugar daddy. It's all about being a sugar daddy. Dandy. It's all about being a dandy. That's a stupid word. I don't like it at all. Wow. Yeah, you can't be a badass dad if you're homeless. I mean, look around you. Look at these sad, pathetic homeless men. Not a one of them is a good dad. Not a one. My level of raw dandyism. Damn, he's right. I'll never be that much of a dandy. But no, I won't be defeated.
Oh.
You know nothing, Kage Hanaya the florist. Now, we've got Theme of Sentimental Yakuza playing now. That's how you know what Date's answer is going to be. I mean, see, what's the most important part about being a dad? Having someone that you're a father to. Bam! Date dropping truth bombs. Truth bombs left and right. Can't be a dad if you ain't a dad. Can't be a daddy if you ain't a dad. Boom. Truth bombs. I've got Haruka. Oh wait, the game's not over yet. Shit. Can't be a dad without someone that calls you daddy. Your daughter calls me daddy too.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh no, you're getting ass blasted, Date. Your old man cred has been eviscerated right in front of your eyes. You ain't nothing, Date. You ain't nothing. You were always a bitch, Sonic. You were always a bitch. Making candy. It's all about having no clue. It's all about having less comments. I mean, let's be real here. If you want to be a bad boy, you gotta be willing to be a not good boy. That's all it comes down to. What the fuck does that mean? A balance between being a bad boy, but not a bad boy. Know what I'm saying? Like me. Yes. Gotta wear a terrible mauve blazer. Kiryu, like, oh my god. the pearls of wisdom that you bring to her life. Look at Hanaya and Date just being left in the background. They're getting further and further away from us with every line of dialogue. A myth of masculinity. You know what you are, Date? You're toxic masculinity. I'm all about that homoerotic, positive masculinity. Know what I'm saying? It's a lie. Toxic masculinity? No, man. If you want to be a real bad boy, you gotta be willing to take your shirt off and fight dudes in the rain. Who among us is the imposter? Drum roll. I forgot. As if there was any doubt. Que sera, sera. Yes, time to sell this at the pawn shop. Keep it dandy, Kiryu. They'll never update my character model. Never! So, as we all knew, all along, Kiryu was the ultimate dad of video games. You know what? Kiryu's gonna be a sore winner on this one. We're gonna totally be an asshole. Let's do it. Couple of wrinkled up, saggy old ball sacks. Fuck you. Walk away like a cool guy. Eat shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a big waste of time. Next time, Kiryu, I will be the one sitting in the couch chair. I will be the one who changes the channel on the cable TV. It will be me, Kiryu. Yeah, so I've been giving the game shit for how it kind of like has been trying to weave in or insert those like new sub-stories that have 2015 level Yakuza writing, and how it clashes really extravagantly against those sub-stories that were in the original game. But that's not to say the sub-stories, like the new age sub-stories of writing that is in the newer games is bad. Like, this is the reason people get into the Yakuza games, because of how fucking zany and whacked out it is, with really actually fucking hilarious side content like that. It's the kind of shit that people love. It's just like, you know, if you're saying I'm... Oh my actual fuck. Alright, I'm the kind of person who, like, you say, oh, we're gonna remake a game. I would rather have an experience that's true to the original experience of the thing you're remaking. I don't necessarily want you to add all this new shit. I want something that's like, to me, the ideal remake should serve as a replacement for the thing that it's remaking.
Boy.
So I should have done this dialogue before we went running around with Haruka. I missed out, so now the sub-story that we're supposed to do with Haruka and this kid, we're gonna have to wait until that happens later on in the game, unfortunately. See you later, Oji-san. Yeah, so now... Yeah, okay. Let's come back with our daughteru. Like, okay, so a perfect example is Resident Evil Remake 1 and Resident Evil Remake 2. The remake, the original remake for Resident Evil on the GameCube is the ideal video game remake because it makes the original game obsolete. There is no reason to ever play Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation ever because Remake exists and you can just play that instead. Whereas Remake 2, Resident Evil 2, the new game that came out, I don't think it replaces Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. Like, it's a fantastic game, but it does not replace Resident Evil 2. It is just a good new game recreating the experience of Resident Evil 2, but it does not replace it. If someone who hadn't played Resident Evil before asked me, I would tell them you should still play Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. It's still worth playing that game. Whereas there's no reason to ever play Resident Evil 1 ever again. Just play Remake. But you should play Resident Evil 2 on the PS2. Remake's a great game, but it's not a replacement. Resident Evil 2 on the PS1 is not an obsolete game that you no longer ever have to play because Remake 2 exists. Like, when you start getting too far away from that original experience, it just starts to be, well, you've just made a brand new game. This is no longer a remake. This is just a new game that you made. And it's a great new game, but it's not a remake of Resident Evil 2. It's just a great new game that you've made. Like, it's basically not even a fucking remake at that point, is how I feel. So that's why I do think Yakuza Kiwami does function as a replacement for Yakuza 1 on the PS1. You don't have to play PS2. You don't have to play Yakuza 1 on the PS2 anymore, because you can just play Kiwami instead. But that comes with an asterisk, because there are new added things to this remake that it's like, I don't know. Like, they're good. I like them. I like the new sub-stories. The Majima Everywhere content is acceptable up to a certain point. And then it's bullshit. But, like, there's, like, a threshold, I guess. Like, once you start going too far, it's like, this is no longer a remake of Yakuza 1. This is now a totally new game. And Yakuza Kiwami really rides that line. Because, like I said, this functions both as a remake of Yakuza 1 and as a sequel to Yakuza 0. I mean, like, they make these games sequentially. This game was not made in a vacuum. This game was not made to be a remake of Yakuza 1. It was made to be a sequel to Yakuza 0. They made it after making Yakuza 0, probably as a flash-in-the-pan kind of experience that they could do really quickly with pre-existing assets and gameplay mechanics without really having to do a whole lot of extra work in order to pump out a new release, which, and I mean, like, what better thing to do than make a remake of Yakuza 1 that everyone who just jumped into the series playing Yakuza 0 as their first game can immediately go to the next point in the story chronologically as Yakuza 1. So, like, they clearly made the game with that intention at the time. My whole thing is just, you know, it's the year of our Lord 2020. Every single Yakuza game is out on the PS4. You don't have to be desperate. Starting with Yakuza 0, jump in on the series with Yakuza 0 was an act of desperation. That was not the ideal. That was not the best thing to do. That's my art. It's multi-layered, I guess. That's why it's taking fucking 30 hours. But which one is this? That's why it's taken 30 hours to, like, try and elaborate on it. But there's a lot that goes into this.
Nani?
Okay. Ooh. Oh, this is the guy. Get on with it. Like, this has been my whole argument from the beginning. Yes, this game was made... Like, this wasn't made purely to be a, hey, start with this game. It was made to be the next game to be played after you played Yakuza 0. But my whole thing is, there are people who, I'm coming at this from two angles. Because there's people who are like, well, I want to get into the Yakuza. Where should I start? My answer is start with Yakuza Kiwami. Do not start with Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0 was made after Yakuza 5. You should play it after Yakuza 5. Play Yakuza 1 as your first Yakuza game. But Yakuza 1 on the PS2 is a piece of shit, and you shouldn't play it because it's bad. So, play Yakuza Kiwami because it's a remake and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Do not play Yakuza 0 first. Start with the first game, but don't play Yakuza 1 on the PS2 because that's a bad game. So what are you left with? Play Yakuza Kiwami. That's my argument. Because, like, it is so not worth it going back to Yakuza 1 on the PS2. Oops. I spilled. Because I'm a fucking idiot.
What?
This is always my thing, too, because people say, like, oh, it's not worth it to go back and play Yakuza 1. It's aged poorly. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying Yakuza 1 has aged poorly. I hate that argument. I hate that statement, that sentiment, that outlook on life, the way that people choose to live. No, games do not age badly. No game that exists in the world has ever or will ever, quote-unquote, age badly or age poorly, okay? Video games do not age. They are just as good today as the day they came out. Now, technology evolving might result in a different experience for that original game than was originally intended, like how, you know, you go back and you play an NES game. Those games were created and designed to be played on CRT monitors. So, if you play a sprite-based game like that was made for a CRT monitor on a flat screen, on a plasma screen, it's not going to look like how it originally looked. It's not going to look the way it was intended to be seen. So there's that. In that context, I'll say yes, technology has evolved, and that has caused some things about older experiences to be altered in that way. But no, games do not age. They are the same today as they were when they came out. This again is putting aside, like, oh, they ported DMC, Devil May Cry, to the PS4, but it has all these weird graphical glitches and weird fuck-ups that weren't in the original game. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not fair. A port with graphical glitches. Let's see here. Sandwich. A port of an old game having graphical glitches that were not in the original release is not an example of a game aging poorly, okay? Games don't age. They are just as good today as the day they came out. What changes is us. We change. We age. We experience new media and watch technology and methods of storytelling and game design evolve, and our standards shift along with that evolution of medium. So that's not a problem with the old game. If you go back to an old game and your new standards based on games that have come out since that original game now cause you to look back less favorably on this old game, that's not a problem with the game. You can't say that it's the game's fault. Oh, the game aged poorly. Because you have experienced new things since the creation of that game. That's stupid bullshit. Games don't age. We change. We age. And if you're the kind of person who cannot assess a game, an old game that you're playing, in the context of when it came out, that's on you. That's not a problem with the game. Oh, this game is bad now because I'm an asshole and I can't put it into context that this game came out in 2005. And Yakuza 0 didn't exist yet. That's your problem. The game didn't age. You just suck. So I'm not saying Yakuza 1 aged poorly. Yakuza 1 was always bad. It was always a piece of shit. It was just doing... At the time, it stood out because it was doing something new. It was... It was pioneering, and it was deliberately trying to set itself apart from what was conventionally expected from video games at the time, and that's the reason it stood out. And those things that made it stand out then still make it stand out as being a unique experience. Batting cages. Man, everyone wants to hang out at the fucking batting cages. Like, the tone of the story being like kind of a Japanese crime drama. being set in a red light district of Tokyo, catering to an adult Japanese male audience. And, like, putting everything else aside and focusing very specifically on the crafted experience of a, like, mature, like, dark and gritty, well, not necessarily dark, but gritty, crime narrative and experience, an urban Japanese experience. That is what set it apart at the time, and it's still what makes it unique now. But the gameplay was always bad. The gameplay was fucking bad, okay? Look. It's not one of those, oh, you go back and now it seems bad after how much the gameplay has evolved since then, or how much technology... Like, no, it was bad at the time, too. DMC existed. We knew how to make games that weren't this fucking clunky. We knew how to make games that didn't suck ass. There's no excuse here. I mean, like, it was their first game, and it was a team who had never really made a game together before, and they were trying something new, so there are excuses. But that doesn't mean the game wasn't, like, a pain in the ass to play. Even then. It's not retroactively bad now. It was always bad then to play. You saw the video I did on it. You know what I'm talking about. Theme of sad Yakuza. We'll go somewhere far away until the sequel, when we'll come back and have another shitty sub-story dedicated to us. You'll be there when we do, right, Kiryu? You'll help us fix our stupid fucking problems a third time, right, Kiryu? Once again. So kawaii. I'm so sick of getting involved in these stupid fucking children's lives. Why do I do these things? Why do I help these random people in exchange for fucking Italian handbags? What am I doing with my life? Nishiki is waiting for me at the bar as we speak. Although by the time this gets uploaded... Oh my fuck! Wow, that one was particularly bad. I also have been saying, though, that, like, Kiwami, you know, it's got asterisks next to it in terms of a game that replaces Yakuza 1, but some things about it, some of its flaws, I think do a good job of replicating flaws with the original Yakuza, which I think is always an interesting concept when you're talking about a remake. Like, the remake was... If the original game had flaws to it, don't you if you're making a remake, you have to consider, do I fix those things? Or do I preserve the experience of those games of that game's flaws? Right? It's like when they did Spyro Reignited, when they were remaking the Spyro games for the Spyro Reignited trilogy. They talked about, like, there were these known glitches and out-of-world bugs, but they talked about, like, we kind of don't want to fix those because they're so important to, like, the speedrunning community, and they're, like, a part of the game's identity. So, like, it's technically a bug. It's technically a flaw, and you want to fix that if you're remaking a game. But it's one of those things. So there's that Shigeru Miyamoto quote. I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto, where they were talking about the original Mario, or I think maybe Mario 64, where he talked about, like, there are bugs and exploits in the game that are like a mistake or an oversight of the programming. And the quote was something like, but it's not like they're game breaking. It's not like it causes the game to crash. So when you think about it, it's like they're features. It's not a bug, it's a feature, as intended, right? Low priority. Like, you can't gussy it up. You can't pretend it isn't what it was. The original game had these flaws to it. It had clunky gameplay. It had stiff lock-on. It had a heat gauge that was fucking bullshit. It had these aspects to it that were bad. You don't have to keep those things. You don't necessarily have to preserve the bad things, but you can preserve the experience of what that meant for the game. And I feel like it was unintentional, surely, but I do think there are things that Kiwami does which do kind of replicate the experience of the frustrations that came from the gameplay in the original PS2 game. That's not the reason that, you know, the game was designed that way, but I do think it is kind of an interesting, albeit unintended, addendum, or, like, you know, quality that allows the game to be an adequate replacement for Yakuza 1. Because Yakuza 1, without the flaws, well, that's not really Yakuza 1 now, is it? You can have a less frustrating gameplay experience while still replicating the, you know, the feeling that you had playing Yakuza 1 on the PS2 back in the diddly day. Don't fucking judge me for the shit that I say. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. You're not even watching this. You're in another tab. You're in another tab, aren't you? You're not even watching the dialogue. There's dialogue happening as on the screen as we speak, and you're not even watching it. Anyway. Near-death businessman. Cameras zoom in towards a building, but that is the general direction of Mecca, so we gotta go that way. To Mecca! Wait. Move, bitch. Fuck you. In my way. Free XP. In my way. Okay, this is the last sub-story, I believe. Oh, he's got a pistol! It's always a good time. Gotta find out the color gang. We got Drabby McDrab, red and blue. Uh-oh. Okay, do we approach the drab, the trash boys, the blue jumpsuit gang, or the red devils? It's all about the red devils.
What?
Old man. Give it back. Don't tell me what to do. I'm a tall delinquent, and I've got glasses on. I'm a menacing delinquent, and my zipper goes all the way up. So you guys might be delinquents, but I have this gun. I'm gonna defeat you with the power of friendship and this gun I found. Got the dying man's bag. Okay, well I'm gonna go ahead and put this sub-story on hold and come back to it after progressing the main story. I'm sure that dying guy will be fine. He can sit tight. That dying man will just stay dying for the rest of the game until we get back to him. Move. Chotto Sokoro! Is Kitty really saving time by taking these taxis, rather than just walking? It's not like any cars drive on these streets. They won't develop the technology to allow cars to drive on the street until Yakuza 6. Look at these streets, completely free of cars. No car has ever driven these streets. Not until Yakuza 6, anyway.
Oi.
My glasses. Oh man, it would be so funny if they gave us an option, a dialogue option to say, no, fuck you. I ain't giving you the medicine. Yeah, keep it in your jockstrap.
Yeah.
Take this fucking ducats! What is your life worth to you? Apparently, $1,500. Oh, he dropped the medicine, didn't he? That's fine.
Oi.
Hey, dumbass! Dumbass! One of the better endings to a sub-story, anyway. That's pretty good. Okay, now to go rescue Haruka from the Color Gang, or whatever the fuck's happening in the sub-story, in the main story. I don't know. Yeah.